Hi folks, Steve Okino here with History in the Hand Metal Detecting. We are in north central Pennsylvania. It is the last week of May, and today we have the opportunity to search the lawn of this house fire. It was an old dilapidated house, so we'll snoop around in the yard, see if we can find anything of interest, and most of all, see if we can find some history to hold right in our hand. You are invited. Come on along. I'll see you at the first hole.
Metal detecting. It's full of adventure, full of planning, for some camaraderie.
Ready, Ryan?
Oh, yeah.
It's full of elation, frustration, and even inspiration. People do it for all sorts of different reasons. Me, I just want to hold a little history in the hand.
Oh, that's kind of cool. So, this is from an old car, like early, like maybe Model T, Model A Ford days. So this would have been what held down the valve stem. This would have gone against, there's the rubber gasket, and the valve stem would have come through here, and this is where the cap would have gone. And down here it says, I'm pretty sure this would say Schrader. So that's nifty. That's a little bit of history to hold right in our hand from the early automotive days. Let's keep looking. On to the next. So this is why I think that this was a house fire. I actually drove past and I saw the fire department practicing on extinguishing a house fire at this site. So wow, what a mess. An old Esso motor oil can. Wow, look at that. That's an oldie. Oh my goodness. Kind of cool. History for sure. Chalk it up to the automotive items. And to the next. About that, our first coin of the day. 1944 Wheatie. And it was found way far away on the edge of a bank over here. I'm about ready to leave. The targets are very, very slim, and there are a number of other places on my route today. But that coin is actually in very nice shape for being 1944. So I'll keep on snooping here a little bit and then hit the road. On to the next. 1 penny. So I am not, the targets weren't dense enough for me. So moving on, seeing if we can find another location. I just got permission to search the lawn of this beautiful old house out on a hill in the country. And she told me that she thinks the house was built around 1890. So let's see what we can find right here in this beautiful lawn. And I'll see you at the first hole. All right, we have a penny signal in the hole. And that looks like a penny. That's a wheat cent. That actually has quite a bit of detail. Always lots of detail on the backside, on the reverse. That looks like 1946, if I had to say. Nice. All right, on to the next. We've got another high tone. And it looks like we have another penny. This is just a memorial, but it is a penny. We will take it. On to the next. Pulled it out of the pine needles. We have an 1890 ring pull. Very impressive. What to expect in here. This is a jumpy signal, goes all over. Ooh, I see. I see silver. Well, I see silver. I see a mercury. Let's get our water out. Look at that. Beautiful. 1 dime. $19.44. Very shiny, very beautiful. Well, that's nice. Silver's always good to find. I don't see a mint mark there. But all right. Mercury. On to the next. Aha! I see part of what appears to be a Tootsie toy. Part of one looks like a trailer. It might not be a Tootsie. No, we might never know. It has that look about it, but can't tell for sure. So one thing we know, there were kids in this lawn. And now there's a 61-year-old kid in this yard. That's nifty. On to the next. Well, look at there. A roofing nail. That can't be it. There's a penny. 1969. A Lincoln Memorial. On to the next. We have another penny, but this one looks almost like it might be a little older. Lots of pennies got dropped. That much we know. I believe that is a... I don't know if that's 1950 something or 1930. I think it's 31. Yeah. A Depression penny. That's nifty. We'll get a close-up of that and go on to the next. Aluminum trim. How many of you have been bitten by the aluminum trim bug? See? I see a nickel. And it is not a war nickel. So, that's nifty. 71. Well, that's putting us into the big money, folks. You gotta love it. On to the next. Something brass. Oh, we've got us a spoon. Looks like maybe they had some picnics out here. Yeah. Oh, that's pretty. And gosh, that was very, very ornate in its day. Wow, look at that. That was a pretty one. Beautiful. I'll see if I can get that cleaned up. I was able to clean that up a little bit. But what a pretty pattern. That's nifty. Okay, on to the next. Wow. Now that is an interesting color. I have not seen a coin come out of the ground quite like that before. That's what you call a red penny. Amazing. Wow. That is really unique. I'll take a picture of that. On to the next. What I see? Because I see a pocket knife. Yes, I do. Right there. Oh, that's pretty nifty. Look at that. Somebody dropped a jackknife right in the side yard. That's nifty. Cool. Uh-oh, it's starting to come apart, and a lot of times they do. As soon as they hit the air again. Look at that. How about it? There's the blades still in. So you can tell this knife was lost because the blades are in. Usually I find them with one broken off blade turned in so it wouldn't dig up their pocket, and one blade out and broken off. And when they broke the second blade, they just chucked them. And I don't blame them. They weren't worth anything. So cool. Found us a pocket knife. On to the next. Another penny, not surprising. We did find a nickel and a dime, so it's not just all pennies, but mostly pennies, which I'm sure you can relate with. On to the next. Gorgeous 1800s home. I've already found an Indian head penny from 1903 and a dog tag and a couple other coins. Found a really cool lead pewter spoon bowl. And now I have silver in the hole right here. I think it might be a spoon though. Let's check it out. I'm mistaken. It is not silver. It looks like it is aluminum of some type. Never mind. Yep, junk aluminum. On to the next. All right, I think we have pretty sure we got a penny signal. No, it's a dime, but it looks like it's a clad. Okay, on to the next. I'm thinking we got a nickel here. And indeed, a 1976 nickel. You used to be able to buy a, quote, giant handful of gumballs with a nickel. When I was a kid, that meant 3. Not anymore. All right, on to the next. Yeah, it definitely helps if you turn these on. Clad dime. We're in for 10 cents more. On to the next. All right, so here at a depth of 1/8 of an inch, we have an Indian head cent from 1886. Can you believe that? Literally right there on the surface, almost showing 1886. You just don't know what you're going to find. That is a beauty. Look at that. Beautiful back on that. Seems like the reverse is always prettier than the front. But that is very nice. Okay, on to the next. Let's get a picture of this. That looks like a garden hose splice. And it's brass. So we'll keep it. Actually, wow, it's copper. Call it a day. Believe it or not, I searched the grounds of this old Baptist church, and unfortunately, this area had been turned into a parking lot. So everything that was in the church lawn is buried. Let's take a look at what we found today. It wasn't bad. We ended up finding a lot of coins, believe it or not, including but not limited to this beautiful 44 Lady Liberty Mercury. Then we found a 1903 Indian head penny in this beautiful 1886, which is just in fabulous shape. It was less than a quarter inch down. And then looks like we found a quarter, a whole bunch of nickels, just tons of Wheaties, 3 dimes. We did find this, I have no idea what in the world this thing is. Found an old silver-plated Sheffield spoon, and this, I believe that is, I'm not sure what to call that. I thought originally it was lead pewter, but I don't believe it is now. Found an old part of a Hot Wheels toy, found a pocket knife, found a 2016 dog tag, part of a lamp, found an old Schrader valve off of an old beat up old vehicle, and a copper splice for a garden hose. But it was a very interesting day. We went to multiple places, actually got permission to search next door in town at a house from 1850. So that is going to be an interesting hunt for another time. But for now, I'm leaving, but I'm glad you came along with me today. It was a pleasure to have you with us, and we'll see you next time right here on History in the Hand.